Mackenzie, we've been following you around all week, and it's been a lot of attention, a lot of media, and then the workouts. Of course, you had a career in jiu-jitsu where you were noticed and you were on the spotlight, but how is this different? Has this been the most attention that you've gotten in your career this far?
I think my debut was very similar, The debut had a lot of attention too. So thankfully, I'm kind of used to it now. My debut got me ready for this. So I think the hardest part is really to lose weight and have all the media, to be focusing, not even just to lose weight. The lose weight is okay, but to be here and be smiling and to have your mouth not be dry, it's hard, That's the hardest part. But the attention I like to talk about, to answer people's questions. I think it's so important that the people get to know me on a different level, not just see me in the ring, but when they get to know me for Mackenzie, how I think, how I train, what I think about my opponent, all these things, because I think that's what will inspire people, will get people to support me, winning or losing, people judge so much, so for people to get to really know who I am, that's what all this media is for, so for me it's fine.
You touched on it. You were in the middle of a weight cut, and we know that your cut is a little hard. And here you are, smiling and doing all this stuff. And you're always, it seems like this is really you. That's very your personality. But does it ever get frustrating, or is there ever a point where you're like, I wish I didn't have to do this now? How do you stay so positive, really?
Oh, for sure. When I'm in my hotel room and I'm taking a nap, trying to rest because I know I'm going to go cut weight. And then I see, the schedule. Okay, I have 2 interviews. I think, oh, man, I just want to sleep more. But then as soon as I get here, I see everyone, the energy. It's impossible to not get excited, And I think this energy, the media, is what makes the fight real, If we didn't have this, I think it would be hard to turn on that fighting mode, So I'm happy, I'm smiling, I don't have any disrespect for my opponent, but without this media and these questions and everything, it's hard to really click your mind, okay, I'm gonna punch in the face, But with all these questions, you start to say yeah, I'm gonna be in a fight,
And you get to be on embedded with the cameras following you around. You were there in your debut too. Is that weird at all? Because it's really right up there. You're getting off the plane and you're all disheveled and you have a camera on your face. How is that part? Is it weird at all?
It's not weird, but I think the most funniest part is sometimes with my friends and everything, we're talking and then I remember I'm doing some gossip or I'm talking I don't know, I'm talking some things. I saw oh, I forgot I have a camera here, the microphone. I said, okay, don't use that, And I think also too, just training, training, and sometimes I get frustrated on the training. It's normal, you're tired and everything, and I don't want them. I don't like them to see that part, I don't think people need to see that part where you get frustrated and things like that, of course they know we go through such problems, but when it's so close, and you need to show okay, you're strong all the times. We need our times of weakness too, So the times of weakness I prefer to have by myself, with my close friends, in my hotel room, stuff like that.
You mentioned disrespect earlier. Did you ever have that situation in your jiu-jitsu days, where an opponent was she's not very good, it's an easy fight, Is this kind of new territory for you?
Yeah, for sure it's new. I think maybe twice in jiu-jitsu, that I had some disrespect like that. One was probably Gabby Garcia, when I fought her, and but it's very, very rare in jiu-jitsu. We fight each other all the time. In 3 months, you can fight the same person 4 times. So you can talk bad, but then 2 weeks later, you see them and you fight again. It's awkward, It's oh man, And then maybe you win one and lose one, and then So it's very MMA. We don't have that, You fight the person once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times the most if it's 1-1 and you have a break, to see the third. But it's very rare you fight the same person 5 times, So I don't feel any disrespect from Amanda Cooper, I saw her on the street, going to the beach, and I was running, shook her hand and everything. But it's different to hear the person saying oh, she's not good at this, she's not good at that, she's not. I said man, yeah, I'm surprised, that she say all of that, But at the same time, I understand, to sell the fight. Sometimes the people need to put that in their mind to really have that fighting spirit, I think jiu-jitsu helped me, that I know it's professional. If she beats me, if I beat her, I'm going to treat her the same after the fight, no matter what.
So you mentioned, how many fights is this in the last year you've had? 4 or 5 fights within the last 7 months, right?
Yeah, in 7 months was 4 fights.
Well,
Usually they do like 3 to 4 fights in like 1 year.
so all those weight cuts, all that training, all the media, how are you not getting burnt out? Or do you feel that coming,
I think if this fight was somewhere else, no, if they didn't have this card, for sure I wouldn't fight right now, because I think it's a lot, I feel like I want to break, but I knew that fighting in Rio would give me so much motivation. I would be like, no way I could miss that opportunity, And when as soon as they raised my hand, I promised. The first thing in my mind was like, okay, if I'm not hurt, I'm gonna ask to be on that Rio card, If they give me a question on the microphone, I'm gonna ask to be on the card, So I went to the backstage, and then they gave me the opportunity, like, when you want to fight next? I say like, oh, you want to fight Rio, At the first I said like, okay, I'm not injured. Okay, I can do another camp. Let's go,
And a lot of fighters, they visualize their fights. Do you visualize your fights, and do you visualize your walkout in this arena on Saturday?
A little bit. I know how it's gonna be a little, but more like on the trainings, my coaches when we finish, because I try to push myself a lot in the training. I'm very tough on myself, so sometimes I get not put down, but I'm like, I want to do everything perfect, So if I mess up one thing, I start to get like, crazy. And my coaches, they push me like, okay, raise your hands, you won the fight, And so they push me a lot to visualize. But me by myself, I don't do so much. More my dreams. When I always before I fight, I'm dreaming, like that I never dreamed that I lost, But I'm dreaming, and like sometimes I dream that I'm like on the girl's back in the fight, and the crowd is cheering. And then I wake up before, and I want to go back to see how the ending was, Like, okay, did she tap? What happened, So that's usually the most like visualization I have, is when my dreams, like my own subconscious,
And is this your first fight with your new camp?
Yes.
Is this your first MMA fight away from the lab?
Yes.
How is that? I mean, that's different. Everything's different. Can you kind of talk about any jitters or excitement about that?
Yeah, I'm excited. Was something unexpected. I've had 6 fights with MMA Lab. I was expecting to go all the way to the belt with the lab, So it's a surprise for me after my MMA debut to get the news that I wasn't on the team anymore. But like the first 2 days, I was kind of like, oh man, how is this gonna be? And I was already training with people in California. I was spending half my camps, half the week in California, half the week in Arizona. So I was already training with people in California when I was there, like striking stuff. So when I went to California, like 2 days later, man, it was so easy. Like they just received me with open arms, and people like was on the, no, we're gonna do this. They made like a camp so organized for me. Ended up being like perfect. So, and even better was that I was able to have like that balanced lifestyle that I like to have. Was able to like enjoy my camp on the beach, with friends, like a lot of friends from Brazil that are down there, like, good people on the beach, like the lifestyle I like, to make it want to be good to train, relax, be ready for the next training,
Thank you.
Just one more for me, because we were talking about this earlier, and I wanted to. When you have back-to-back camps like that, you have another concern, right? You have to kind of stay on weight because you can't go too high, but then you can't keep training too low because you don't have energy. Was that when you took the fight? Was that a concern for you? Just like the weight management part of it?
Since October, the weight management is hard, because even if I don't go crazy, I lose so much that my body wants to hold on to it, So any like liquid, anything, my body thinks I'm gonna do it all again, and it's right. I do it again, Like just a couple weeks later, I'm doing it all again, So, and every time I feel like my metabolism, it's messing with the metabolism to go down and go up, go down, go up. So I really want to get it. That's why I want to do all the tests, to see the hormones, see my metabolism, see what vitamins what things I'm missing, what things will help me to keep the metabolism good, because everyone said, that weight cut, really ruins your metabolism, stuff like that, So, of course, the weight cut, I said after the fight, no, I will keep my weight down, because I have a fight coming soon, I'm going to fight Rio. But it's hard, like just a little bit, and my body sucks onto it a lot.
There was a flight. Has this been a harder one because of those variables for you?
Not hard. It's the same as the last one. I missed my flight, so I was expecting like that retain the liquid. One day, I would have one more day, you know. But it was okay, you know. Like it was the first time I flew this far for an MMA fight, you know. So it was a lot of hours not doing anything, drinking a lot, holding the liquid, you know. So when I got here, I was okay, but the people in the UFC, they were a little bit worried, you know. They like called me like, "You okay?" I said, "Don't worry, guys, it's okay." You know, like I went and ran, and everything came off, you know. So it was perfect, you know.
And lastly, so I'm asking you about the weight, and I'm sure everybody is, because you said it yourself, because you missed weight in the past. I think it became a part of the narrative, right? Is Mackenzie Dern gonna make weight? Like, does it bother you that we keep asking you and that this keeps coming up?
Yeah, you know, like not to like compare anything like that, but you know, I know like Chris Cyborg, she has a hard weight cut, you know, and I know that a couple days before she has like so much pounds, and I know for sure that her, you know, she suffers herself, she's confident she'll make weight, you know, and I think like, man, I missed weight my second and third fight of my career, you know, I never did amateur, I went straight to pro, you know, so it was new to me, you know, like I wasn't used to doing this type of weight cut where you weigh in one day before jiu-jitsu, we weigh in and go straight to the mat, so we don't dehydrate that much water and those things, you know. So it's was like, of course, I never want to disrespect my opponents by missing weight, but for me it was a learning process, you know, and it was my second and third fight. I'm on my seventh fight now, you know, and I feel like, man, how long are they gonna keep asking me about my weight? Every interview, even to like my opponent, they ask her, "You think she's gonna make weight?" You know, I said, man, they have so many things you can ask about. You can ask about my father, the flight, my opponent, so many things. Like they always gonna ask about my weight, you know. So I don't know. I think more and more people get used to me making the weight, and they'll be okay. The last one, I was the last one to weigh in, you know. So I think the drama that people get, like, you know, that people like to gossip a little bit. So that's what I think. But hopefully it will pass.
Awesome. Thank you so much.